You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk, a movie podcast where we give pumps and dumps.
Hello and welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I'm your chunk.
I'm Doge, and no measure of chunk with you will be long enough, but we'll start with forever.
And I'm Carter, and guys, I'm sorry, I could use a few hunky minutes.
Gross.
I noticed you said you were the hunk.
No. Why are you the hunk?
I'm the hunk because with my professor powers and
Activate.
with the
I heard that in my
Activate.
mind. I heard that in my mind in Scrappy Doo's voice. Puppy power!
Professor! In my persuasive class, which I'm very excited.
Persuasive Professor Powers?
Persuasive professor.
Powers.
Persuasive communication class. Our very first class period.
Persuasive Professor Powers.
I introduced Kendall Jenner as a Jedi.
Kendall Jedi.
Because I basically said persuasive communication is the Force. So that's what I'm doing in this class is we are teaching you the Force.
Yeah.
Both offense and defense. How to recognize it, fight against it, and how to also use it. And then I said some of the most persuasive people in the world are Jedi. That's how we're going to do it in this analogy. And then Kendall Jenner, who has 102 million followers, who for a post gets paid $500,000 to post something about somebody. Like MeUndies could say,
Are you
hey,
learning all of this from the Fire Festival documentaries?
Not all of it.
Okay, that's where I learned it.
Not all of it. But she is one of the top influencers in the world.
Yeah.
And basically a Jedi.
She did get beat by
Okay.
that egg, though.
Professor, I got a question for you. I'm glad you brought that egg up. What about that silly...
What about that egg?
What about that really silly Instagram
Hey, how
egg?
about that egg?
Is that egg a Jedi?
So in persuasive communication,
Egg
it can't
Jedi
technically
guy.
be considered persuasive unless you can measure intent.
The intent was to beat Kendall Jenner.
Then it's persuasive.
Then
And
is
it
it a
is a
Sith?
Jedi. Perhaps it is a Sith Lord.
Always two, there are no more, no less, which is just the amount I need to
And
make
if you
a
wait
really
long
yummy
enough,
omelet.
if you wait long enough under a heat lamp, it's a chick lord. No, that was really bad.
No, I liked it.
Okay, good.
I'm proud of it.
I liked it.
Stand by it. I'll edit that and
Let's
put it in our podcast.
go on into that movie.
Sorry, I was trying to come up with like a egg pun, and all I had was Poach Taylor from Friday Night Lights. And it wasn't good.
And that gets us to Taylor Lautner.
Not a very
which
funny
gets
yolk.
us to
All right.
Do we
We're
have to?
delirious, and you know why?
Do we have to? Guys,
Whoa.
I mean,
we have,
can't wait.
As I see it, we have two options.
okay.
We can
can't
talk
wait.
about the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Okay.
Or you and I are both drinking Topo Chicos, and we can talk about how good this yummy drink is.
I haven't opened mine yet. Ooh, I can open it on mic.
Open it, yeah.
Ah.
This is a Topo Chico unboxing podcast.
Here's your Topo Chico ASMR.
Bitey firewater. And this became the hardest time.
Ow, golly.
Guys, he still hasn't opened the Topo
I think my
Chico.
bottle opener's broken.
So Topo Chico's packaging from Jordan gets 1 star.
Ow.
We'll see how he feels about the product itself.
Ow.
Jordan, yours is
All
a
right.
green
Now
bottle.
take
Is
your
that
fir-
with
now take your
lime?
first sip.
It's pomegranate. No,
Topo
it's
Chico,
grapefruit.
Topo Chico sent Jordan the grapefruit flavor to try. They sent me the clear flavor. And what do you think?
Refreshing and delicious. And covered in blood for some reason.
Well, that's all the Topo Chico we could talk about before having to
That's
pay
all the
them some
time we've
money.
got. Tune in next week. Okay. Here's the thing. This week we're talking about a movie. We decided to mix it up and talk about a movie here on the podcast. And
Crazy.
that movie is known as The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1 out of 2 for some reason. Should we talk about it, Doge? Do you have a synopsis for us and for the
Dude, this could be the
listeners at
shortest
home?
synopsis ever, right?
3 things happen in this whole movie from start to
yeah.
finish, so.
I do have a synopsis. And this synopsis is written by IMDb user CAD.
I'm loving these.
And if you're just tuning into our show and you haven't listened to a whole bunch before, I usually write my own synopsis, but I don't care enough about these films to spend that time. So, CAD writes, Bella and Edward are to marry. Jacob becomes upset when he learns Bella is planning to consummate the marriage on her honeymoon, which is a normal thing to do on your honeymoon. The wedding over, Bella and Edward spend their honeymoon on the Cullens' idyllic private island. But, to their dismay, they discover that Bella is pregnant. The fetus is growing at an accelerated rate, and everyone fears for Bella's safety. Will she go ahead with her pregnancy, whatever the cost? The werewolves close in as the unborn child poses a threat to the wolf pack and the town's people of Forks. Kat, if you're listening, thank you so much for your work synopsizing this movie.
I guess nothing Cad said is wrong, though.
Cad, you're right. Cad, we value you. We appreciate you. We acknowledge the work you've done. Thank you, Cad.
Thanks, Cad.
So that's this movie.
Scrub Caddy.
Ooh.
Hey, hang on though. Scrub Caddy is a thing that you should be able to suction cup on the side of your sink that you put Scrub Daddy inside.
It is the caddy.
Scrub
That's real.
Daddy. Wait, it's real?
Yes, I'm not kidding. You're describing what Scrub Caddy is.
I didn't know it was real.
It's a real thing.
I was about to try and use that to make a business partnership.
Sorry, they've already done it because they're brilliant.
Scrub Daddy, you are the true dad.
Scrub Caddy.
You think of everything.
Dude, it's actually everything you were saying. It's like suction cup to the side, and you can put all your Scrub family in there.
What about like Scrub Fatty? And it's just a Scrub Daddy with a big butt.
They also don't want to offend people. Not that that's offensive.
I thought it was like a compliment to the...
No, it's Scrub Fatty. It's a belt that's about 80 inches long, but the buckle is a Scrub Daddy.
Ooh.
Interesting. Interesting.
Let's talk about
I'm
this
more
movie.
interested in everything we're saying right now than I am in this movie. But we open the movie on the day of the wedding, right?
Right? Yes. No,
Right?
day before.
Day before?
Day before.
Oh, yeah. And
Because Edward is going to his bachelor party.
Oh, yeah, and they're jumping up to the window. Instead of yelling,
yeah, and it looks like, you know those...
hey, Ed!
The thing where it's the big wall with the trampoline and people just
Yep.
and bounce back down.
Yep.
And they do what every group of guys do who are going to go on a bachelor party, which is roughhouse for about 30 seconds at the bottom of the window.
Yep.
Just so
And
you
then
know
it was
they're
over,
friends.
and then they just ran home. Bachelor party over.
And they did this movie's favorite vampire effect, which is a run that is essentially a fast click and drag of body from one location to another location.
It's rough. It's like worse than it's looked. I think,
Yeah,
in
this is
movie.
the worst the special effects have been so far. But I really think that we're missing something at the beginning. Isn't there a dream? These all start with dreams.
Yeah. She
right?
has a dream about her wedding where she sees her and Edward standing before the Volturi.
They're the
like,
officiants.
And
they're the officiants. And they're
getting married on a pile of bodies.
Pile of dead bodies.
Yes, sir.
So it's a super cheery opening to this fourth installment of the Twilight series. I read a review of this movie, and the opening statement was, the beauty of this movie is that we get to watch these sullen, tiny teenagers play teenagers as sullen, tiny adults. And it really, that just sums up sort of everything here, huh?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. There's something about it that just is like, and I think you've said it on the show before, like, let's age them up like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like this immediately feels way less creepy if they're not teenagers.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We have, I will say, I think the wedding was the best produced part.
Hey. The wedding is my super pump.
Okay, good. Even there were some like legitimately pretty sweet lines. I know it was like, hey, I'll see you at the altar. Like the next time I see you. Okay, that's cute.
Like you can in white. That's really sweet. That's cute.
And we're finally leaning into Bella's just awkward.
Yeah.
And so all the fun stuff where Edward's like kind of joshing with her in terms of like,
I will
this
say
isn't you know?
they're like their wedding is the time that I bought their relationship the most.
Not me. I bought it in the room the night before when they were bantering. What you're talking about with like
Right.
I'll be in white. Something I noticed is that much like the rest of this series, Bella has nothing to do if Edward's not around. So the second he leaves, she just goes to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do.
Fair enough. I do want to, I mean, I'll elaborate on the super pump. I think
do it.
in particular, the walk down the aisle
Was great.
is beautifully shot. I think it's shot really well and edited really well. And then the ceremony where, you know, we're panning and there's nobody else there. Like there's a measure of competency that I haven't seen in this series that is displayed at the wedding.
I did really
I
appreciate
agree.
the panning and they're the only people at the wedding.
Yeah, I think it was.
I couldn't help laughing at first at the thought of the priest just being about 5 feet to the right at the end of the shot and being like, "Can we do the wedding now, please?"
Yeah,
like,
right.
We're all waiting for you.
So I read interviews and they intentionally like lengthened the time that Bella's walking down the aisle
Because they had to fill 2 movies.
Well, probably that, but the stated reason is
They lengthened a lot
that they wanted
of
to
stuff
kind
in
of
this movie.
I don't know, because like I mean, you guys are both married. The moment like when the doors open at the back or whatever, and your fiance is walking down the aisle, that feels like it takes forever, but it also feels like it's very quick.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I can appreciate all that, and I think that's
And our
great.
boy Charlie's there, being real
Charlie's
sweet.
there, and I actually really love Edward's line that I made fun of. Like, I think it's a really sweet line. There is no measure of time with you that would be enough, so let's start with forever.
Yeah.
I think that's really
And his
sweet.
I
speech
actually
was
agree that
was good.
Yeah.
all of that's good stuff. Something that really bothered me specifically about the walk down the aisle is I don't know if she was preparing for later in the movie when she gives birth or what, but I noticed that Kristen Stewart's go-to acting move is just, I have stomach cramps.
Yeah.
And it's in the same way in Friends, Joey has smell the fart acting. And I think that Kristen Stewart has ouchy tummy acting.
Yeah. I
Where
mean,
it's
she's
just
making crazy WiiSports face.
The whole time. It's not even WiiSports. She's in pain walking down the aisle to her left. She doesn't smile once, not even one time.
Yeah.
And she the whole time she's walking, she's just like, ow, ow,
It's yeah,
ow,
100%.
ow.
Yeah, it's like it's not just the pressure of I'm about to get married and my life will change. It's like, oh wait, what? Like my life is really about to change.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and like,
and oh, sorry. I think this is also like maybe a last big ploy to make us think Jacob's on her mind. Right? Do
Really?
they still? Well, that's how silly it sounds. But do they still want us to think that it's
don't
not that
know.
easy of a choice? I don't know.
Jacob is shoehorned into this narrative. Like he
Well,
genuinely,
since the beginning.
genuinely has
Yeah.
no place in this story.
Do we want to talk about Jacob a little bit?
Yeah, I just
Showing
want to
up
say,
at her
go.
wedding?
as somebody who's attended a lot of weddings, as somebody who shoots weddings and produces that kind of video content, like nobody makes the faces that she's making when they're
No.
walking down the
Yeah,
aisle.
it's
So
just-
that's something that I didn't even really think of until right now. It's
Yeah.
like she looks like this is a chore for her.
Right.
I think
Right.
like in terms of like the actual editing and cinematography, the craft of that scene is good, but the actual performance is weird.
Right.
Yeah. Good point.
And actually, so something I was going to say during the reception, when we see speeches and stuff, Anna Kendrick was actually almost my super pump for this movie. It was the first glimpse of personality that we had seen in the
For
nearly
real.
20 minutes that it took us to get to this point
Right.
For
in
real.
the movie. And she was actually very, very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have her written down as my super pump, but I ended up changing my mind and forgot to change what it says on my phone. But like,
Yeah.
I think she was great here.
Yeah.
In the
She actually had something to do in this one.
yes.
Because really she's not been anything more than set dressing.
When I was losing it at her, like, do you think she'll be showing? I was
Yeah.
like, oh, come grow up. She's
Yeah.
pregnant kind
Yeah.
of a thing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So good. But yeah, I think after the wedding, after Doja's super pump, things just start.
So Jacob shows up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're getting at here?
Well, yeah, sure.
Jacob
Oh,
shows up.
that's how this movie opens. Is he receives a wedding invitation and then takes off
yeah.
sprinting in the rain
Oh,
and then
that's
turns
right.
into a wolf and then runs away.
Yeah.
And where's he been? Northern Canada mostly.
Which I didn't think they could go there, right?
I thought they weren't allowed.
Right?
That's to show you how like he doesn't care, man. Like he's going.
I don't care. I'll go past the border.
He's crazy. So he
Man.
shows back up and Edward's like, I have a surprise for you, Bella. Come with me. And then they go into this like
There's someone I think you might want to see.
and he takes her over there and then Jacob goes,
And Turbo Man walks out of the.
best man forgot to get his tux. And so that was cool. And then
Okay, question for you. Was Jacob the best man? What does that line mean?
I think it was a joke, but was he the best man? Like, are we supposed to think they're boys again for the
I
first
don't
time?
know what's happening.
Well,
so-
it might be in the way that where she views him as a brother, but even that's.
Oh, so
weird.
he was saying like he was her best man?
No. I'm saying sometimes, like there were groomsmen. 2 of my groomsmen were future brother-in-laws, right?
And even though
that
you
kind of
hate
stuff
them, like
happens.
they had to be
yeah.
Well, yeah,
part of the wedding.
Yeah.
I love you, Nolan and Dillman. Bye.
But so Jacob shows up and is like, "Can I dance with you?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then they dance, and then much like all friends do, Jacob's like, "I guess you're not going to be able to do the WiiSports thing." You know, like all friends say to each other
Yeah.
on their wedding day.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
What conversation is this?
It's bizarre. And here we have entered the portion of the movie. I think
The rest of the movie?
The first part of the movie is called Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. And I think this part of the movie is called Twilight WiiSports the movie.
Yeah, Twilight WiiSports the movie.
Twilight breaking bed. Twilight breaking water.
Oh, good.
Twilight, yeah.
Good.
Whoa.
Oh, I loved it.
Did you prep those or is that off the dome?
Prepped.
So
Still impressive.
still good. The latter 3/4, really 4/5 of this movie, time wise.
I would say it's about 6/8.
Yeah, the latter 4/5 of this movie are ripped straight from a romance novel written for middle-aged women with a shirtless young hunk on the front.
So when Jacob is like, oh man, guys, just the central. So when Jacob's basically like, wait, you're not going to be turned before you play Wii Sports? He's going to kill you. It's like, wait, don't you
How do you know so much about vampire Wii Sports?
Dude, yes.
How much research is there on you're about to get murdered by Wii Sports? You're going to get Wii Sports to death.
It's like,
It's because he's got the Wii Motion Plus adapter. So they're about to...
And the wrist strap will not be present.
Here's the thing. Kristen Stewart's ready to play Wii Sports, and Edward's like, it's WiiSports Resort or out for me.
Yeah,
Right,
and
you
she's
know
like,
he's
but I
got
don't
the
know how to do
rumble
ping
pack,
pong.
right?
Yeah, like you're in trouble.
guys, it's
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
What friendship has that level where Bella's not just gonna be like, doesn't feel like some of your business to me right now.
It
To be
happened.
What
honest
friendship
with you.
level has the... Why is she not like, hey, dude, I literally just married somebody else. Please don't ask me to dance.
right.
Edward seemed fine with it.
It's just things like that. So at this point, and I'm glad we're spending some time on this specific scene. So I really have to give Twilight an apology because I think we said it verbatim. I think we said it verbatim of like, I don't think it's going to do what Fast and Furious did for us. You know, like it turned a corner. But if you remember around the backstory of Jasper, I decided this is a B movie. So my lens the whole time now has been B movie. Worst, most successful franchise of all time. At this moment, from here on, I had a blast.
Wow.
I can't believe that.
I
Wow.
loved it. But
Wow.
in all of the... and
For all
we'll
the
get-
wrong reasons.
Yes,
everything.
and we'll
Yeah,
get
I
to it.
hear
It's
that.
like, oh, you have turned a corner. It's like when Fast and Furious said ridiculous things like, this is a superhero franchise.
right.
Yeah.
Nobody dies,
Right.
right? And it's the kind of
Well,
thing...
I'll give it that. You know, I laughed a lot.
I did too.
but I was
Yes.
not
I did
laughing
too.
with the movie.
The
And
difference, though, is the Fast and the Furious franchise was keenly aware of themselves.
Right.
Yes. Yep.
This is a turn. This is a sharp turn that they don't know that they did this.
Right. To me, that's the difference maker. And I think
Oh,
that's what you're saying too.
100%.
To me, that's the
It
difference
is.
maker. That's why I can freely enjoy Fast and Furious. And I was like genuinely angry for the majority of this
Yeah.
watch.
Okay, I found a happy place, and
I'm glad. I
smiled the whole
wish.
time.
I
Wish
wish
that I
that I
had.
had found a happy place.
Okay, cool.
So they
I
go
wanted
to...
to find
They go to Isle Esme.
Sorry, before that, I'm not done at the
Okay,
wedding.
okay,
There's just
good.
so much
Let's
to
hang out
unpack
here.
here.
Oh well, Laurent's girlfriend.
Yeah, out of
Oh, yeah.
nowhere, we had
Who
no
we never see
idea-
again.
Yeah, I had no idea that he had a girlfriend.
And she's one of the siblings in Lost. Have y'all seen Lost?
No.
No.
Okay. Go on.
So something I noticed about Jasper for the first time, he has Buzz Lightyear face.
Yep.
Permanent, all the time Buzz Lightyear face, which is one eyebrow cocked with this smile.
Oh,
That
yeah, that
noise.
one.
so good.
He has
so true.
permanent Buzz Lightyear face.
He does.
It is unreal.
Did
I
he
mean,
talk in this movie?
a couple times?
Where's his accent?
At the window, he was like, "Come on, well, I'll be back before tomorrow."
I laughed. I rewound that part 3 times and watched him pop up to the window because he barely makes it up to the ledge. He's like, come on, have that horse. Like flies off the window. It's like
It's
that's as
things
long
like
as he can
this.
hold on.
There's ways to enjoy bad things. That's one of
Oh.
my favorite things to do.
I giggled.
This
many.
became everything that I love about Bachelor in Paradise, Real Housewives,
I just
Southern
did
Charm.
Not find that happy. Place.
Oh, I
Yeah.
I
did.
wish I.
Maybe
had.
I'll
I
get
can't
there.
wait
Maybe I'll
for
get
us to
there
do this together.
for part 2.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. So, yes, we're going to Isle Esme,
Yep.
right?
Which, I mean, I guess Carlisle can own an island. He's been a doctor for like 200 years.
Yeah, it was
So,
a gift to Esme, right?
Yeah.
The island was.
Pretty cool.
Just
Yeah.
cool. Again, that's the most interesting story.
100%. And I've committed to not making him my super pump this movie.
Thank you.
He's the most interesting story. And
It's tough not
their
to.
housekeepers.
And he doesn't do a lot in this movie, so it was easier to
It's
be
tough
like, I'm
not
all
to.
right.
Yeah.
They're housekeepers who have heard legends of vampires and they're afraid of the people that the Cullens bring to this.
just
Like,
so
that's
cool.
interesting.
Well, they're afraid for the people that the Cullens bring.
Like that's so much more
cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
I accidentally just Stefaned you. When you were talking, I was like, yes.
Yes. So one thing that became really clear very quickly on this island, this movie uses this weird, like almost fisheye lens repeatedly. So many times I was like, oh, everybody's face is just warped and strange looking because of the lens that they keep using. And it happens over and over. The house, the beach cabin was the first time I noticed it.
Yeah.
But once I noticed it, I couldn't stop noticing it.
It's maybe
It
the
was through this
second
whole
most
movie.
used camera tactic, right behind intravenous.
Yeah.
in a special effect that's usually reserved for watching spider people get spider powers.
Or Jimmy Neutron have a brain blast.
Exactly.
I mean,
What a great movie, guys. Listen,
we're on-
you need to, listener, from here on out, everything that I say is because my world's been turned upside down. What is up is down. We are in the upside down in this review.
What is Twilight is daylight.
Wow.
So they, on Isle Esme is their own WiiSports Resort, right?
Yeah,
oh, Doge.
it really
That's
is.
your crowning achievement.
Speaking of crowning. What a fun episode. Thank you, Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1.
So the whole time, everything on this island is focused around they're about to play some Wii Sports. And they play some Wii Sports and they want to play more Wii Sports. That's the whole thing. She just got married that day, right?
Uh-huh.
You tell me she didn't already shave her legs?
Hey, dude,
Hey, dude, maybe it was cold.
Are
Maybe
you
it's
telling
been
me
cold
she
driving
didn't
around?
already shave her legs?
There's a lot of,
Maybe
she
those
had a
hairs
prep.
grew.
Here's so they chose for her, I'm going to call it prep scene. I don't know what else to call it. But they chose for her like
She needs a few human minutes.
yes, her during the human minute scene, this became some like
Rom-com?
high school, like they just took 2 minutes and the music,
It's just
everything played
I
like
crashed my
a
car into a bridge.
yeah.
I don't care. She's just like.
I mean, it felt like Easy A. It felt like
Yeah.
Mean Girls.
Yeah, it
100%.
really did.
It just had no. The whole movie has no
tone
identity.
Completely shifts.
Completely shifts. Who knew the next couple of shifts we'd have after?
Which I'll actually give a retroactive pump to the previous 3 entries. The tone has been fairly consistent.
It was bad. but
Sleepy
It's a
time.
bad-
Sleepy time tea tone.
Bad tone, sleepy time tea in a hot topic made of computer generated imagery.
This
Yep.
is wonderful.
Yep.
That's been the tone thus far. And then now you're exactly right. We have this Easy A Mean Girls sequence.
But only for a couple minutes.
Only for a couple.
Because
minutes.
Only
then
a couple
it's-
human minutes.
Then it's bathe in the moonlight out in the ocean. We spent a long time on that, huh?
yeah,
Like a long time.
I love that when
a
she's
long time on everything.
she picks up her special clothes that she brought for Wii Sports and is like, "Don't be a coward."
Go out there and be a naked girl.
And she acts, she goes, oh, Alice. Like
Well,
Alice
'cause
packed it
Alice,
all.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But Callie and I were just talking like, she knows that she's going to not be wearing any clothes at some point, right?
Right,
Like,
right,
chill.
right, right,
It's
right.
fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Hmm.
ocean, long time in the ocean. And then
The,
Wii Sports.
This brings me to my super dump.
yeah.
And there is perhaps not a delicate way to talk about this.
Euphemisms. That's our bread and butter, baby.
Wiimotes need batteries to turn on.
Yep. Okay. I'm with you. Okay.
Edward
Edward drinks batteries.
drinks batteries,
but,
but we've
contains no
established that he
batteries.
has no batteries of his own.
I'm with you 100%.
I don't know I don't know how to talk about this and keep our clean tag on
Wait.
iTunes.
But here we just don't talk about it because we also, even as fun as that would be, and it's not because it's inappropriate, because they did this to themselves. They put a PG-13 tag on a movie that probably should be R. In all honesty,
The first cut was R, and they had to cut down the Wii Sports scene.
oh, it's just crazy. And
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about this.
down.
Yeah, they did.
So it's like we don't have to worry about that being to canon because nothing else is.
Sure.
You know, we talk about your favorite scene, which is the wedding, which is a religious ceremony. Everybody burns up and dies if they're vampires.
That's true.
That's true. But I'm talking about like established lore from
Biologically.
Twilight.
Yeah.
Established lore is that these vampires have no blood.
Yeah. This reminds me of when you talked about the Oliphants.
Yeah.
And how they can't be that big because they would just cook themselves because of how much the
because they're
body
warm-blooded.
heat.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know how this happens.
That's my super
I don't know
dumb.
how this
I'm not
happens.
comfortable talking about that anymore.
I think it's very funny.
I think we'll lose our clean tag. If we
At
talk
one
about that
point
much more.
in this whole like sequence where it's like they're on the island and they're playing Wii Sports, and then like she's like, more Wii Sports, and he's like, nah, I'm okay. I don't want to. I don't want you to die.
Yeah.
Because
she's bruised.
It's like this whole weird thing. At one point, she goes and she stands and she's looking at herself in the mirror, and she looked for so long that I was like, I'm just gonna go get a drink from the kitchen. And I stood up and I got a drink. I took my time, got a drink from the kitchen, came back, sat down, and she was still staring in the mirror. And I said, "What did I miss?" And Callie said, "She has not stopped staring. There is a minute and a half almost sequence
the pacing in
of
this
her
movie,
just staring at herself in the mirror.
the pacing is bananas in this movie. Like it's all over the place. It's so slow.
But there are these little moments where it's like, and story move forward, stop.
Yeah.
And we're going to sit here for a long time and story move forward, stop. And then we're going to sit here for a long time. Like, unbelievable.
It's like you're the student driving instructor.
Right.
And you're
you've
sitting in the
slamming
passenger
the
They're
seat.
just slamming that brake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really bad.
And now we cut back home a couple times to see what's going on there. And Jacob expects that Bella will have been reported dead. She hasn't been. But I want to talk about Leah and Seth for just a second.
The other werewolves.
I'm just going to say it. They make Taylor Lautner look like Leo DiCaprio.
They really do. They're the worst.
I can't believe it. I've never seen acting this bad in a real movie before.
They're genuinely like sci-fi original movie quality.
They would be extras in the
Compared
sci-fi original.
compared to Seth and Leah, Tara Reid is Glenn Close.
Yep.
That's very good.
Yep.
That is very good. Yeah, there even comes a point later towards the end where we basically get to see all of the werewolves in one frame. Not that they were trying to be like here's Captain America and Iron Man and Black Widow and Hulk all in one frame for the first time. We're like, oh my God. But this is just so like nothing's happening. This does not.
I think that's the biggest problem with this movie is that we've presented in the other ones, like our big threat is like the Volturi, or our big threat is like these assassinations in Seattle. Like there's always bigger stakes than the relationship stakes between Edward and Bella.
Yeah.
And those larger stakes that give our story context are completely absent from, at least from part one. As I understand
Right.
it, part two has something to do with some sort of larger
Yes, it
thing.
does.
But in this one, this really feels like a side adventure. This feels like a little bit like a sequel. You know what I mean? Like a directed DVD sequel.
To me, what it feels like is what should have been the first act of one movie.
Well, yeah.
But anyway, I do want to talk about the wolves all gathering, but not yet. I want to get there in
That's
its
fine.
own time.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But much like Bella, I am currently pregnant with
Whoa.
anticipation
Oh my goodness.
because all I want to do right now is get to some shout announcements. It's time to shout announce some things. Our first round of shout outs is going to go, first of all, to Podbean. Thank you, Podbean, for letting us pay you money to host our podcast on you. You're great.
So kind, so generous.
Your customer service is the toppest notch.
Honestly, though, you really are.
Yeah, you're wonderful. We love you, Podbean. After that, we also want to shout out Wax Space. As always, thank you for letting us drink your coffee and do our stuff here. But we want to be very clear now. We also want to shout out Tyler Station, the building that houses both Wax Space and our studio. Tyler Station lets us come inside and do stuff, and we love that.
We're a big fan of doing stuff inside buildings.
Yep. Outside, no thanks. I'm
Nope.
good.
Also want to shout out Sheldon Norrid. Sheldon, we mentioned him actually in yesterday's Mini Monday episode.
He let us know John Hurt was dead.
So thanks for being the bearer of bad
Sheldon.
news. But Sheldon,
Thanks, Sheldon.
Sheldon also texted.
Schrodinger's John Hurt. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Sheldon also texted me and said he's been waiting for one of us to bring up what we do in the shadows. And so I took that burden upon myself, and that's a public service that I provided to everybody. So
Hey.
Sheldon, thanks for listening. And also, watch What We Do in the Shadows. That's a great movie, and it's way better vampire and werewolf action than you get in these.
It's so good.
Yeah. And they're about to have a series now, right?
They are.
It's called Werewolves. No. The sequel movie is called Werewolves. The series is about the police officers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's a good time.
Something that I'd like for the listener to do. It's not a must. Or is it?
Ooh.
So here's the thing. We would love for you to rate and review the podcast.
Yeah.
And I know like it's like when we say these things, it's wrapped in kind of some jest wrapping paper, I guess you could say, in terms of like trying to be funny about these things, still showing our humor. Haha, please rate and review us. But dreams are at stake now. Okay. And think of that. So
it has become real.
It is so easy to support us in that way. It really is. There's a lot of stuff. So we talked about my persuasive communication class at the beginning of this episode, right?
Yeah.
The top 4 words, according to Business Insider, to persuade people right now are you. Okay, we need you.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
It's completely free for you to do this.
Vampires.
Instantly.
Oh.
Yeah.
iTunes counts this instantly. And the 4th word legitimately is because.
Kevin. Oh.
No, Kevin's 5th.
Oh, yeah.
Because. And the because is the kind of thing to where you say, because we need it, or because this, because all of a sudden people are like, yeah, no, sure, go ahead and do it. So because we would like to be Rotten Tomatoes critics to continue to do this, granted, we enjoy it without being able to do that.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
I mean, it's going to start getting to the point to where if we're Rotten Tomatoes critics, this opens a door for people start letting us go see movies for free because they want to hear our opinions. So maybe you should share with other people that our opinion is worth it.
Yeah.
And so we already have close to 80 reviews on iTunes, which is great. Average of 5 stars, but just go in there. It's a couple of clicks. And then as you can see, if you scroll through some of those comments, actual reviews, it doesn't have to be much more than 2 words, right? I mean, you could pretty much put anything in there. But if you legitimately love it, please go rate and review the podcast.
It does take 5 words to say Doge is my favorite host, but those are the kind of reviews that we're looking for. So
Right. And it only takes 1 word to say Jordan.
That's true.
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah. I checked.
Also subscribe.
Yeah, please do that too.
And now, as I do every week, I will be the outro music for Shout Announcements.
It's not.
Shout Announcements. It's Shout.
We're just gonna let him keep doing that. I guess.
Announcements.
Yeah, I'll fade his vocal down and then bring in the music underneath.
Shout
Perfect.
Announcements. I faded for you. And we're back, and I want to talk about babies.
Yeah.
So Bella's like, this is impossible. No,
Is Bella pregnant?
there's no way that
Pregante?
this belly it's full of child.
She puked
She
because
did
of
puke.
chicken.
Yeah.
Which
I would've
chicken
puked
for
because of that
breakfast,
chicken.
huh?
Yeah. Well, you kind of lose track of time when
When
you're
you're
playing
playing
Wii
that much Wii Sports,
you know?
yeah.
Well, and to
Work
be
up
fair,
a mighty hunger.
to be fair, on my honeymoon, like we went to brunch every single day, and it was like, let's have chicken and waffles. Let's
Yeah,
have this
that's
big,
fair.
like greasy gravy omelet. So
I remember us doing that.
Yeah, it was so much fun for all of us.
And the 3 of us, we all went on our triple honeymoon.
It was so much fun.
The honeymoon, moon.
Gosh.
Twilight, new honeymoon.
Twilight, full blood wolf moon. We should have brought that up. I think
How
the last time it
what
was
a
released,
missed
How did we not
opportunity.
talk about the
Guys,
full blood wolf moon?
what
we
a
missed
missed
that. We
opportunity.
missed that John Hurt was not still alive.
No, I don't know why anybody's listening.
Maybe
to
all
you
us.
downhill.
Maybe you shouldn't rate us 5 stars. We don't deserve it.
So Bella has a demon baby inside of her womb.
That's literally it. Like, you're not joking. Like, everybody's talking about, even when Edward gets to the dangerous, terrifying Wikipedia and he's looking at all the photos of, like, those are terrifying photos.
There's one that looks exactly like Phil from Hercules holding a
Yes,
pitchfork.
yes,
Yep.
yes. It absolutely does.
100% is just, I expect Danny DeVito to be voicing that little
So the
character holding
canon
my
now is
gosh.
that Danny DeVito is in Twilight. So thanks, Danny.
Danny DeVito is the voice of Renesmee the baby.
Oh my gosh. Do we want to go ahead and talk about the name?
Not yet.
No.
Really?
No, sorry.
I want to,
okay.
Okay.
because I'm afraid we're going to forget. Renesmee is a trash name. And
Edward laughs at it.
he does.
He's like, no, it's good, it's good.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's
so
like
rude.
It's a trash name, and I understand what Stephanie Meyer was going for, I guess. But Oh man,
What
is
was
this
that?
a trash name?
Like, oh, it's so sweet that it's like the
I
symbol of our
think
two
so.
families becoming one family.
I think that's what it's supposed to be, but it's just like,
Hey, real quick, if you guys had a daughter and you had to use the Renesmee naming scheme, what would it be?
Oh, so it's our
Deli.
Mm.
Mine would be Deli.
Okay.
Oh my
So
gosh.
here's. Ooh, it's both mothers.
Mine would be Crinifer.
Mine would be Dickie apostrophe Ann. My mom's name is Deanne. It's spelled really weird. D apostrophe A-N-N-E. And then Vicky. So it's either Dickie apostrophe Ann. Let's call her Dickie Ann.
Oh, God.
Oh my goodness.
So Deli, Dickie Ann, and Crinifer are vampire daughters.
These are our vampire daughters. I'm so excited.
But I think that's a great case study of how bad of an idea this
Oh,
is.
it's just
You know
so
what?
dumb. And the boy name is for her husband and her other best friend, which I would be very
Yes.
upset about.
Yeah.
And not their dads, who are the best characters in the whole. I
real.
just don't understand.
Just call him Charlisle. Why not?
Carlisle.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, Renesmee's a bad name. It's a trash name for a trash character in a
In a
trash,
trash
story.
movie. Yeah, that's right. So they leave the island, and Bella's like, Rosalie, you're the only one. You have to help me. And then
Why Rosalie?
I don't know.
Well, because I think she's the one, like one of the biggest negatives for her being a vampire, she can't have kids, right? Didn't she want to be able to do stuff like
Maybe
that
that's
and
right.
be human?
Maybe that's right.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not totally
So
sure.
she basically sets up Rosalie as like the womb guardian,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Basically.
I mean, that's essentially it. And
Womb
then
Raider.
They go. Oh, very good.
Gosh, that's good.
They go home, and then Jacob gets a call. You gotta come out here. Motorcycles his way out. And
In a totally sweet leather jacket, by the way.
that has like vents on the back. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
But
cool.
he-
it's because it's a werewolf thing.
It's a werewolf thing.
He
You
is
wouldn't
horrible.
understand it. And he motorcycles out. They've been home for 2 weeks. Didn't tell anybody.
So this puts us at a month after the wedding because they
Right.
were on Isle Esme for 14 days.
Right.
Mhm.
And so this is when we see for the first time like emaciated Bella.
Yeah. Well, and I'll take just a quick moment to say, while they have, it doesn't do enough to make up for all of the canon that they've totally destroyed about vampires, but it is known that if a human is pregnant with a vampire baby, they do begin to turn into a Bratz doll.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Right.
She's going to have no feet, just real pointy legs. at
Real
the
pointy
bottom that
legs.
She has
It's
to
gonna
stick into
happen.
some shoes.
So here's the thing though. My super pump for this movie is the quality of the special effect that
It's
they
actually
used.
a really good effect.
I think she looks awful and it feels like a weird decision.
Sure. Okay.
But the fact that they were able to make her look like, and I'm not being cute here, like a corpse. I mean, she looks like
Yeah,
a walking
corpse
corpse.
bride. Mhm.
She looks horrendous.
Yeah, really bad.
And that was all CG and special effects. That's impressive.
Combination of digital and practical effects.
Right.
Similar to little tiny Steve Rogers in Captain America 1.
Right.
But I think, honestly, this looks better than that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It's full body. And I mean, she looks awful, but that was the intention.
Sure.
And every time she was on screen, I was like, wow, honestly,
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like
all
kind
of their budget went to this.
uncomfortable to look at.
It was.
Yeah.
It was really uncomfortable to look at.
Yeah.
But basically, at this point, Jacob just gets furious.
Because he's going to kill her with his WiiSports, I guess.
Right. But he
Kill her with the
didn't.
WiiSports, but then kill her with
Now the baby born is going to be dead.
Mhm.
What? Sentence no happen. And Jacob runs to the beach.
Is this when we have Wolf Council? Because Wolf Council is the most bizarre moment in this entire franchise.
Wolf Council is the worst 3 minutes of a movie I've ever watched.
No.
Yes.
You're so close, though. It's up there.
No, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
And that's also bad. But there was just like, there's a 3 minute scene which is comprised of wolves sprinting through the woods and like, Jacob, I feel it. We're gonna kill it, and it's gonna be terrible. Like
And
all these voices and this sound that is just like, oh, like underneath the whole thing. And then they get to the beach, and then we have the scene where Jacob is like, no, I'm gonna be the one who does the thing. And I'm telling you, I
Remember how-
texted you guys this last night. I would pay real American currency to just be a fly on the wall in the studio when Taylor Lautner had to record this, like, "You're not my alpha anymore. I'm in charge of my own fate."
Yeah, we talked about in the I think it was the last episode on Eclipse, because we're like, oh, wouldn't that have been so ridiculous if it's Taylor Lautner's voice coming out of that wolf?
And then here we
And they
go.
did it.
And they did it.
Yeah, it's something.
Wolf Council was very nearly my super dump.
It's bad.
We have another case here of it was what I wrote down as my super dump, and then after I slept on it, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
But I stand by. My super dump is a super dump for a reason later on, but this is still the worst 3 minutes of movie I've ever watched.
So in Wolf Council, Taylor goes rogue, and he decides that he's going to spend the rest of his time just hanging out at the Cullens.
Yep.
Right? That's a bizarre decision.
He's going to protect. He's trying to protect Bella from the wolves.
This whole thing. I mean, I guess the only good thing that came out of this wolf subplot is that I learned who Paul is, because we didn't know which one was Paul last week.
I still don't know which
when
one
we read
Paul is.
Leslie Cullen's synopsis. Paul is the angry werewolf, and
They're all angry. Who's Paul?
one of them is Paul, and I learned that this movie. But the whole wolf subplot, Jess was saying she doesn't remember that in the book. So if there's somebody who's read the book, please let us know. But the whole wolf subplot and the attack on the Cullens house feels like we just need a climax for this half of the movie.
Yeah.
It really feels like we need a big action set piece because we have some CG dollars, and if we don't spend them, we're going to lose them for the next one. Like, it's absolutely bizarre.
I'm feeling bad because I was going to make this such a special experience for the three of us to talk about what happens in a scene I'd like to talk about next. But I was going to get legitimately, it was such a good idea, but it's way too late. I was going to get everybody cherry slushies and walk in with that. So we can have that right now.
So let's talk about the cherry slush.
I do have a note that just says Vampire Capri Sun here in my notes. And I also have a note right underneath that says, good thing they had a to-go cup.
Yeah.
For real. Just like in a glass.
But so yeah, you lead the way.
So
champ.
if Rosalie can, so they're really trying to find out she's dying. Like, how are we going to help her? Oh shoot, is she kind of like becoming?
She half-see?
Yeah, is she kind of becoming a vampire because now half of her body could be like vampire-y. So they're just like, let's just give her some blood to drink. And then I ask if later, mid C-section, Rosalie's having a hard time with the smell of blood.
Why not the blood from the bag?
To which we see 30 bags in the trash can.
Yeah. Why aren't they licking it like it's the inside of a ho-ho bag? Like, why aren't they just like, oh, I want it. I don't understand.
It's just really bad. And so she takes a sip and she's like, I feel it tastes good.
And this is the moment where I realized, so fun fact.
Horror movie.
I don't know if you guys know this. All of the actors were held at actual gunpoint during the filming of this movie. Everybody was, there was a handgun behind every camera, and the director was screaming, "Actor, you die," to everyone throughout this whole movie. And that's why we have the stale Cheeto performances.
Yeah,
have
it's like
everybody.
a saltine that you left on the counter for a month and then decided I gotta try and crumble this up into my soup.
It's a stale Cheeto because it's cheesy and stale.
Fair enough.
It's flaming hot because of the red residue it leaves on your teeth.
Oh, that was the worst.
She drinks this nasty blood, and
Capri
it
Sun.
works for some reason.
When does
Ask me if I'm sure that I hate it.
When does she?
Ask me.
Are you sure?
I'm O positive.
Does she do that whole
Gosh, dang
90? Oh my gosh! Does she do that whole like 90-degree angle thing when she just breaks her back? Is that next?
What?
When she's
No,
about to
there's a
have the baby?
There's a couple of things that happen in
I
between
just wanna get there
because they
so
run out of
fast.
blood for her, and so Carlisle and Esme have to go on a blood run. Which again, that's so much more interesting than watching Bella sit around and die.
Well, he
right?
works at a hospital, so it's probably as simple as like, let's go to the hospital.
No,
grab some
because they
blood
gotta
bags.
escape the wolves that are surrounding their house.
Oh, yeah, you're so right.
Like
It's
that's
so much better.
more interesting.
So much better.
Why are we spending time with Bella, the dying girl? That's so much more interesting. But anyway, they got to go on a blood run, And then while they're gone is when when they begin to enter the medal ceremony for WiiSports to receive their rewards.
And that's when Bella says, "My water's breaking," because she's full vampire now.
It just breaks. And at that moment, until, I mean, this was a long scene.
Yeah.
So from that to whenever we say the technical birthing is done, is my super pump.
Whoa.
Remember me telling you my world is upside down.
Okay.
I have already said I'm not going to enjoy this movie in my mind and my soul by actually watching it as if it's going to be a good movie. I have said it is the sci-fi original, and this has given me, in this amount of time, one of the best experiences I've ever had.
It's awful.
And one of the
So
worst
bad,
experiences I've ever had.
Okay.
The entire pregnancy and giving birth baffles me. That's why on yesterday's episode, I kind of stumbled upon the franchise thing for how much money has this franchise made. The fact that this is I think this is the worst, most successful franchise of all time.
Yeah, I would agree with that
Yeah,
completely.
It's in the top 20 ever in history of movies.
It's so bad.
$1.4 billion. And this is a part of it? This is a part of it.
And it includes torture C-section.
Yes, and we talked about it like during one of our breaks today, but like when you look at how much they make, the money that they make, there's a bit of a jump from the first movie to the second, but then it's almost within like $20 million of itself, the rest of the series.
Wow.
Which just is telling you the only people invested were the ones invested from the start.
It's the same group of people.
Right?
Yeah.
And we
Every
talked about,
summer.
and I know we talk about Fast and the Furious, but it would be almost any franchise like this. Like Jurassic Park, the most recent Jurassic Park, made a lot more money than the first one, even though the first one is incredibly high grossing. Like Fast and the Furious, the very first one was like, oh, this is kind of a really cool culture thing. And then the last couple have made $1 billion.
Right.
So there has been progression. There is no progression. There is regression, but everybody's too invested to jump out of it. And it's just like
Wild.
That's bizarre.
So I just Googled like, what were people's reactions to this? You know how like when people were
Coming out
like
of
you'd
the
see
Phantom
commercials, like the commercials for Paranormal Activity, because of how terrifying the first one was, where you would see the audience's reaction, right? They're showing like, hey, this is actual footage of people watching this movie. What were all of these 15-year-old girls doing during this scene? Like, what? I want to see what their faces
Probably
were like.
texting their emojis.
So
to
I
their
looked stuff up.
Uber.
The only
They were
videos
Fortniting, I think.
the only videos I got were actual videos of the actors in the scene, Robert Pattinson, Taylor Lautner, and Kristen Stewart, having a hard time not cracking up.
Oh,
I read that as well on IMDb, that while they were filming the scene, that Taylor Lautner and Robert Pattinson kept laughing and they had to like cut and start over.
I get it. It's just so absurd.
But I also read that Taylor Lautner, karate legend, cried adult man tears when he saw an unfinished cut of this one.
no.
And I don't know if he was emotionally moved or if he was filled with
Mourning
so
the
much
end of his
remorse. Man, I could have been a karate superstar, but instead I did this acting thing. If
I chose the
I'd
wrong
listened-
dojo.
If only I'd listened to Burger King and stayed out from in front of the camera.
They knew. The
They
whole
knew.
time Burger King's been like, we told you.
That's why they're
Listen,
the king.
Burger King, I have been openly critical of your brand and your food in the past year, and I'm sorry. You tried to save us.
You did try to save us. You tried to stop this. You knew beforehand. So they pull the baby out.
No, we can't just go.
No way,
So
man. We gotta
can't
talk
just-
about this.
No, we can't
Please?
just do this. Back breaks. She's on the table. Rosalie says, okay, C-section, let's do it. Oh, no, but there's blood here. Take her out. Get Taylor. Get her out of here, Jacob. I don't know what tools to use. Okay, let's do a shot of looking down over the belly. My husband, head goes down. Head comes up. Mouth has blood. Baby's there. Like, is anyone feeling the emotions that I think are supposed to happen when he has a bloody baby in his hands and blood residue around his mouth where I know this blood came from and he is smiling?
No, this is the most bizarre thing in this very
No
bizarre
amount of
franchise.
Penny and Sparrow can save us from
Golly.
like, this is unbelievably ridiculous.
Yes.
Yes.
This is mind-boggling.
Do you know what they used for the baby
No.
to cover it in blood?
No.
Strawberry jelly and cream cheese. That's real.
Gross.
Oh my gosh. So
Whoa. God. Oh, man.
This is so bizarre.
can baby be out now, please?
Baby is out.
Okay, baby's out. And baby is in next room with Aunt Rosalie, and Bella is dead.
She's dead, but is she dead?
Who knows? I don't care about that as much right now because I want to talk about my super dump.
Wait, we didn't talk about another way that he tried to help with the pain. What did he inject into her?
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
It's my venom.
This is a syringe. It's a syringe of my venom.
Venom? Have they ever talked about vampire venom? Is that
I
in
think so.
vampire
They
lore?
have.
They talked about it in Twilight 1. The venom was moving quickly through her veins, but it's
What is that?
My
It's my
venom.
venom.
that's my venom.
You can save her.
Anyways,
This will help her to come back to life, Jacob.
We have to save time to talk about this because it's important to me that we do. I
Okay,
want
fine.
to talk about my super dump, and it's that Jacob is in love with a baby.
Yeah, that's a weird and bad thing.
I hate this.
I think they tried to make it better by showing her as if she would be when she would be his age eventually.
No,
But
it's
here's-
gross.
Renes Charlemagne.
But here's the thing. Werewolves are not immortal. They're not frozen in time. in
She's
the way
not
that
gonna catch
vampires
up.
Are. She's never going to catch up to him.
Unless she is.
Just seemed to indicate.
This is gonna be a baby forever.
But it's like, did
half
you ever see
human.
the Aragon movie where
It's half
Saphira
human.
becomes a full-grown
Don't
dragon
talk
in
to me
2
about
seconds?
Don't talk to me about the Aragon movie. So this just seemed to indicate that they did it. They tried to make it less creepy in the movie because in the book it's clearly a romantic thing, and in the movie he says, "I'll be there. A brother, a friend, a protector."
It's
Can
just,
you
it grosses
like
me out and I
imagine
hate it.
that scene next to when we hear Commissioner Gordon talking about the hero that Batman has to be for Gotham?
I want to replace Taylor Lautner's
Like-
voiceover into that scene.
Like
Just Batman running and being chased by dogs. A brother, a friend,
I mean, you
a
could.
protector.
You're a wizard. It's just so bad. It's so bad. And I'll say my super dump is, man, maybe the single worst delivered, written everything line to where, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but so did the plot. But like, the wolves are here and they've kind of had a fight. So we've got everybody in wolf form. And then Jacob turns wolf in a pretty kind of cool way.
I
disagree.
I continue to absolutely hate the werewolf transformations.
Edward is out there with still baby blood on his, and everyone's just blood on his mouth.
The craziest thing to me is that Edward is saying, "My new daughter is inside. My wife is dead. Let me hop out here and fight some wolves."
Right. This is actually after some of this. Well, I don't know. This is so, yeah, that's right. He's seen the baby. We still don't know Bella's alive. Duh, obviously. And so Edward comes out and they play like this music, and I need to go back to it that's supposed to like stir us. And he just kind of, it's almost as if he was looking at the camera and he's just like, he's imprinted. It's like he's supposed to let us know, oh, things have changed.
Oh, no.
He's imprinted now. I can read his mind. I know he's imprinted. And this is such a big deal. I don't know what to think, but thankfully it's for my daughter who's about an hour old.
And yeah, how's Edward cool with this?
Right. Like the
Again-
whole thing about like, he's imprinted. Like soap opera delivery.
Yeah, really.
It was really bad.
I just feel like it's gross. I feel like it's gross.
It's gross.
It's absolutely gross.
And does she not get a say? Does him imprinting mean like they're gonna be in love? Like
I
she
mean,
doesn't
you
get to
can't-
choose now? It's just gross.
You can't.
It's
Sorry.
yucky.
That's just what it is.
It's the strawberry jelly and cream cheese of movies.
Let's be done talking about this.
Well, Bella comes back to life, vampire style,
Yeah.
and her eyes open and they're red.
Got them roho ohos.
Oh, very good.
Nice, guys. Nice.
Do the wolves just run away? How does that end?
Who knows?
And cares.
I literally think they just run away once they find out.
We'll get you
Because-
next time.
Genuinely, that's what it is, because it's Robert Pattinson's voiceover, and he's like, Jacob is imprinted. He will never stop protecting her. As long as he's here, they cannot touch her. And they just run away because
It
Taylor
was
Lautner,
almost Antonio Banderas.
It was.
as long as he is here, they cannot touch her. And Taylor Lautner just growls at these wolves and they run away.
That's my growl. Was it good? Thanks,
so then
guys.
Bella opens her red eyes.
And then,
She's a vampire, and we're all totally excited for part
much
2.
like my interest in this series, it's over.
Yeah.
Let's rate it.
Here are 2 chunks and a hunk. We have perfected the art of movie rating through the scientific cinema scale, and that scale is as follows. The best thing we can ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it, buy that poster. The next best thing is buy it. After that, it's going to be rent it, followed by stream it, and then forget it. And last, but certainly least, the worst thing we can ever say about a movie. God hath forsaken us. Anybody want to go first?
I do. It's that one. It's that last one that we just all whispered together. We've been forsaken again this week, guys. This is so unbelievably bad. That's it. I mean, I don't have any more words to say about it.
I'm going to go next because I think Carter's going to break the mold. I wish we had something lower than God Has Forsaken Us.
Exactly.
While watching this movie, I couldn't help but think that it was the worst movie I have ever watched. God Hath Forsaken Us. No contest.
In explaining my rating, I'm really trying to think through scenarios where it's not offensive. But I have an analogy in place. Sometimes awful things happen in the world. Really bad, catastrophic things. And every now and then, like a museum will have that, like to kind of talk about that kind of thing. Yes, there's like wars and stuff like that too, but it's like, oh, you'll never believe. Like maybe like the Ted Bundy movies coming out. Like, you really should know how awful this was.
Stuff like the Great Chicago Fire.
Yeah, things like that, to where it's like, it's worth being educated on, but you're not going to have a good time while you're there. And a lot of times you have to pay for things like that. So I'm going to rent it. Hear me,
Carter.
because the world needs to know and spread the word that this is a joke. Like, the world needs to see this worst installment of the worst, most successful franchise of all time, these worst minutes, to understand this is all a lie. This should not even be on any big list. It shouldn't have made this much money. It shouldn't still be talked about. But shame on us, we're talking about it.
Yeah,
but it shouldn't. I mean, this was like, we thought of big things that were like, what would be a fun thing to do episodes about? Fast and Furious. Oh, duh. Let's do Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. We got to do Twilight. And then we get here and we're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And to really understand how it shouldn't be, it just should not exist, you need to watch this movie.
I'm honestly really shocked by these. And I think we've touched about that before. Like, I think you're exactly right. Like, this is totally an unexpected response, because I thought that it would be like, these are not necessarily awfully made. They're not awful. They're just not for me, but they're awful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, they're not for me because of how bad they are.
Right.
The scenario I put myself in to rent this movie was like, somebody has come over and Twilight just gets brought up. And they're like, I mean, was it that bad?
I haven't seen
And
it in a long time.
And
then-
everything in me wants to prove it. And I look and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not on Hulu anymore. But it's $2.99 to just go ahead and buy this on iTunes. Like, no. It's bad. And I would hit buy. I would buy that just to show them.
You mean rent?
I would
Or is
rent.
your rating
No.
buy?
Sorry.
Oh.
I would
Wow.
rent that just to show them.
Would you buy the poster? How high can we talk you?
No.
I want
But-
you to leave here in a brand new poster, and I'm going to do anything it takes to get you there.
But yeah, it's a rent. I know that's crazy.
It
But
is crazy.
My
It's
world has flipped upside down.
I'm offended on behalf of taste.
Up is down. What kind of taste? Like
Strawberry and cream
Like
cheese.
blood.
It tastes
We got one more of these.
golly. We really
Oh yeah.
We still got one more of
I
these.
forgot.
We still got one
Wait,
more of
what
these
are they-
Twilights.
I guess we got a Volturi fight or something.
There's
Maybe.
something
I don't know.
coming.
I swear if you spoil it, I'm going to be mad.
I don't.
got
Well, I
something
hadn't
coming,
even
so-
seen this movie. I didn't
don't know what
realize
happens.
Something's happening. Don't worry, guys. It's coming.
it.
Yeah. It's just, we'll see you next time for one of these again. It's the second part of this one. It's the second half of what this was the first half of. And to end this episode, I would like each of us to think of something that would be even more unappetizing to put on a newborn baby in order to make it look like it was just born. I'm Jordan Wonders. Frito chili cheese pie.
I'm Doge. And we said it was cream cheese, right?
Hmm.
I'm going to say cottage cheese because of the curds.
And I'm Carter. And I'm gonna say street corn.
Elote.
The second time you see it.
So you went with like a real nasty boy style.
I'm just
thing.
trying to go with the whole theme of this
So
movie.
you just said poop on a baby.